Alright, so this session with Winston is going to be about play. I'm going to use a tug rope. I already have him in place, just patiently waiting for my release command. And there it is. I call him to the rope and reward him with some play, you know? And he loves tug rope and he's not going to want to let go at all. And that's alright. I'm going to just let him win. And he's going to take it. And when I take it back, I got to take it kind of a different approach. You got to kind of make it boring now. I hold it still. Make some calming noises. Sometimes the noises work, sometimes they don't, depends on the dog. But as soon as he lets it go, reward him by playing with it again. Letting him play with it again. See, and letting him win. You want to let him win so that he knows that every time you get your hands on it, you're not going to take it away. It's a game. It's back and forth. But I'm not going to let him hold on to it for long by himself, because then he'll start chewing it up, and that's also not too great for them. See, sometimes you got to be a little more patient. It might take a minute for him to let it go, to want to let it go, to figure out that it's not a game anymore. He's still a little excited, and that just means you got to be patient. But as soon as he lets go, reward him. There you go. This time we're gonna interrupt it a little bit. Give a command to sit, because it's good for him to be able to obey a command, even in the middle of excitement. And this is just laying some foundation for that, to be able to interrupt it, and for him to wait for the release to continue to play. And there he goes. I let him win again. And he goes to his place card, his favorite spot. And what I like to do before I let them win is I like to let him get a really good tug in, so that he feels like he earned it, and not just that I just gave up on him, but that he actually won the game, instead of thinking that I just stopped playing with him. See that he pulled back on it real hard, and that's when I let go of it. And we restart. A lot of playing with your dog is just finding out what they like and doing it over and over, and then cycles. This video is like 7 minutes, but the whole session took about 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, with like 5-minute breaks in between. And right now, I'm about to pull him over to the camera because I start shaking the rope, shaking his face, and it looks so funny to me. He looks like a crackhead ass dog to me. I put him closer for the camera, but it doesn't do him enough justice. And then I give him some good tension, let him make some effort, and let him win again. Every time I let him win, he likes to go off and chill in the place card and just chew on the rope. And I don't really like to let him do that, just because he'll pull out the fibers of the rope, and if he eats them, he could get sick. So pretty much as soon as he gets to the cot, I'll recontinue the game, or I'll take the rope. I'll do something to keep him from just chewing on it and pulling out the fibers, tearing it off. And right now, if you notice, I took the rope away from him, from his mouth, and then I had him sit, which is a little bit different from before. I would take it away and then instantly reward him for letting go of the rope. But this time I had him sit and then rewarded him for sitting. And that will teach him to have a little more patience and wait for my release command for him to continue the game. And here you see I'm doing it again, but this time I'm adding down. And down can be a little bit trickier for a dog that's still kind of learning it. Winston did a good job here after I lured him with the rope. It can be tricky to lure with a toy, because sometimes they'll just go for it instead of actually following the command. But he did a good job here. Now I'm gonna focus a little more on having him just chase the rope instead of just biting and tugging on it. Because as much as they love playing tug of war, they also love chasing. But I still will let him catch and do a little bit of tug and let him win the game. Because he still also wants to do that. And as he goes back to his place caught this time, I kind of give him a second. I just want to see what he's going to do, just out of curiosity. I want to see if he'll re-engage with me or if he's just going to focus in on the rope. And he does do that. He starts to lay down there, so I swoop in and I take it from him. And I'll say the place command because I want him to know that I want him to stay there until I give him the release command. I want to be able to move around with the toy without him impulsively going for it and attacking it until I give the command. Because like when you spill food on the ground, you want your dog to be able to stay in command when you give him a command and not give in to his impulses. And right here, if you notice, he actually sat before I said sit, and that's because he reacted to my hand being raised, and he knows that that's the body language command for sit. And I raised my hand because he had jumped up on me, and I don't want him to do that to people. Another thing I want you to notice is that I released him almost as soon as he sat down. I mentioned the timing because I think it's important to mix up how long you make them wait for the release command.
Good boy.
Because every session you want them to be able to wait a little bit longer and look at you. Sometimes you want them to make eye contact with you before you release them. Sometimes you just want them to follow a command and then release them. But you want to mix it up to keep it interesting. Because if you do it longer and longer each time, they could get bored, they could start doing the command slower, or they could end up just ignoring you. And after they go for a water break, I like to give them a little break just to relax so that they're not wanting to throw up if we start playing right away. So I'll have him just chill on the placemat for a while. He doesn't have to stay there. I'll give him a break and just let him go sniff around, walk it off before calling him back to place and then restarting the game again. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope this helps.